Hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So I'm back with an NYC apartment related video, specifically about the cost to just move into an apartment. And I moved into a luxury apartment, so that's where I'm gonna be kind of speaking from the lens of. So I'm gonna get straight into it. So keep in mind this was March of 2022, and these are my moving costs. So for I need to pay a $2,400 security deposit, and $2,400 was the rent, so also need to pay that for first month, and a $30 amenity fee. So in total that was $4,830. And if you want to know what the amenity was for, it was for the gym. Now I know that sounds crazy, but as I'm looking at the market now, more than likely most people would have to pay a broker's fee. I was just lucky back then I didn't have to. So keeping that in mind, I thought I should also tell you, let's say I was getting the same apartment around this time. The lowest broker fee usually is 1 month's rent. So with that would be $2,400 broker fee, $2,400 security deposit, $2,400 first month rent, and $30 amenity fee, with a grand total of $7,230. That would be the lowest you would pay with a broker's fee. Now, we all know the higher broker's fee. We can get into that. So the highest broker fee that I usually hear about is about 15% of the total annual amount of money you would pay in rent. So that would be $2,400 times 12 times 0.15. So with that being, the broker's fee would be $4,320. And all the previous other fees I talked about. So that would be a total of $9,150. So in today's time for my apartment, you would probably pay the lowest $7,230 to move in, and the highest $9,150. And if it helps, the refundable fee you would get would be the security deposit, which would be $2,400. So you could subtract that. As an added bonus, I wanted to tell you about a luxury apartment I went to that had the craziest, highest move-in fees. So this apartment building was a condo, so it was individual landlords. It had a doorman part-time. I had a bigger gym and a bigger rooftop than the place that I ended up living in. But let me tell you the fees, and you let me know if it's worth it. So the rent was $2,150, so keep that in mind. So in order to move in, you need to pay first month's rent, broker's fee, which was equivalent to first month's rent, which is $2,150 again, security deposit, $2,150, and then an application processing fee, $350, a credit report fee, $200, a $500 move-in fee, and then another security deposit, but this time for the condo. So it's a condo security deposit for $2,000 for a grand total of $9,500 just to move in and get the keys. And if you're wondering what is refundable, obviously it would be the condo security deposit and the other security deposit that I guess you would pay to the landlord directly. So in total, that's about like $4,150 that you could somewhat hope to get back in the end. So yeah, those were all the fees. So with that, that's just letting you know, if you ever wanted to live in a luxury apartment in New York City, that's what you can kind of gauge on what you would pay. I would probably say I paid a little bit on the lower end of what you would pay. And also, I know that there are luxury apartments that are even more than the higher one that I told you about. Because even though I lived in Manhattan, I didn't live in a part of Manhattan like the East Village. And I know any luxury apartment in the East Village or, those West Village would be 10 times more expensive and have way more fees. Because I've heard about amenity fees that are about like $75 a month, or even in the hundreds of dollars a month. And let you know, even if you have roommates, that's per person. That's not per unit. So I lived alone, so either way, I was paying the $30 just for myself. But even if I had a roommate, let's say we lived in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom, it would still be $30 each. So keep that in mind. So in the end, would I say all of the money that I paid, was it worth it? And this is, again, just move-in. Move-in fees, was it worth it to live in a luxury apartment in New York City? I would say Realistically, no. I'm gonna say no. Like, it's not worth it because I'm just a big housing is human right type of person. So to pay $2,400 for, and I lived in a studio, so I don't even have a door that separated my bedroom from the living room from the kitchen. I had to make my own little makeshift. You could look at my apartment tour video. It should probably be at the end of this video. But at the same token, I would say I still enjoyed it. Is that weird? I think that's strange. I don't know. Maybe because I'm young. You know, I'm in my 20s. I don't understand how money works. I'm kidding. I do. I'm not that young. I think it's one of those things where I knew it was only a year. I really wanted to have the experience of living in a new building and living like in the middle, like the hustle and bustle and stuff of living like a newer type of, you know, those renovated units and stuff. So for me, the time that I spent, it didn't ruin my financial future or nothing. So I'm actually okay. I would do it again. Next time around, probably would try the best to not spend as much. But the way this market is looking, it almost looks like I'll be lucky if I could find something similar to what I was living in last year. And the last thing I want to add is, I think me breaking down these fees and also looking at them makes me really appreciate that I advocated for myself and negotiated my rent down, because they actually wanted $2,450 for the rent for the apartment that I moved into. So you would have to have added an extra $50 to security deposit and obviously to the monthly rent as well. So, and let's say it was a broker's fee. If I did have to pay a broker's fee, now it's like a little extra $50 and that I would have had to pay if I didn't negotiate it down. You know what I mean? And I think that's really shows the importance of trying to negotiate. Like, I understand if it's a unit that you really, really want, you don't want to miss out on it. I get it. But if you feel like there's a chance that you can negotiate, do it, because the compounding savings, I feel like is worth it in the end. And I'm actually planning on making a video about how I negotiated down my my rent for the apartment that I leased. So let me know like what you want to know specifically, or if there's any specific questions you want to know about that. But I'm getting ready to post that. So yeah, thank you so much for checking out my video. Really appreciate it. Love y'all.